Marlowe translated Lucan's epic Latin poem Pharsalia, first book in iambic parameters, detailing the civil war between Julius Caesar and Pompey, which has been noted for its poetic quality and fidelity to the original text. Marlowe's translation of the first book of Lucan's Pharsalia was submitted for printing by John Wolfe at the Stationers' Register on September 28, 1593, entitled Lucan's First Book of the Famous Civil War betwixt Pompey and Caesar, Englished by Christopher Marlowe. However, due to Marlowe's condemnation a few months before, the printing license was not granted until 7 years later, in 1600. Years later, Thomas May continued to translate the same work, in 2 steps in rhymed verse, Book 1-3, 1626, Book 4-10, 1632. You should seriously consider the possibility that the true identity of a poet Thomas May is questionable. For details, click link above. It seems not too difficult to deduce from Thomas May's epigrams of Martial that he must have been a pseudonym of Marlowe, providing the following poetical portrayal of himself, Leander, with meaning. The protagonist of Marlowe's epic poem, Hero and Leander, presents a striking simile of his own fate, often overlooked. The knights see the life of Leander, Marlowe, saved. This life of Leander, but going spare, returning take, he differentiates between the personated, living Leander, Marlowe, for he was here saved, and the true one drowned in the Hellespont. Also in epigram, number 42, to Thomas May, in Wit's Recreation, the anonymous author, with some certainty Marlowe, clearly identifies his other self allegorically in relation to Thomas May. After having translated and explored various, for instance, erotic themes in Ovid's elegies, Marlowe turned with Lucan to other new topics as civil society, war, and civil war, analogies to the internal conflicts between Elizabethan England and Mary Stuart Scotland. Both themes served as an early foundation and prerequisite for the true Shakespeare's plays like Julius Caesar, Antony and Cleopatra, and many others. It is highly plausible and logic to see Lucan's translations as early literary preparation and exercise of a poet, who would later write under the name Shakespeare. This shall be illustrated hereafter through comparisons between Marlowe's translations of Lucan and passages from Shakespeare's plays.
Rome, if thou take delight in impious war, so impious war defiles the Senate house.
What is it then to me if impious war,
the course of mischief and stretch out of date?
break out into a second course of mischief,
Many a year these furious broils let last,
more rancorous spite, more furious raging broils,
let all laws yield sin bear the name of virtue,
be it so, go back, the virtue of your name,
sword girt, Orion's side glisters too bright,
war's rage draws near, and the sword's strong hand, away, and glister like the god of war,
to be exalted with the threatening clouds, and in the fleeting sea the earth be drenched.
the ambitious oceans swell, and rage and foam were now exalted, and with blue beams shined.
Yet more will happen than I can unfold.
Sees and knows more, much more than he unfolds.
Filled both the earth and seas with prodigies,
Nor we disturbed with prodigies on earth.
with slender trench they escape night stratagems.
The motions of his spirit are dull as night is fit for treasons, stratagems, and spoils.
If to encamp on Tuscan Tiber's streams,
Beyond the river, we'll encamp ourselves.
pricks forth our lively bodies and strong arms, thou hast no hands to wipe away thy tears.
Now I behold the lively body so,
Brabbling Marcellus, Cato, whom fools reverence.
those that I reverence, those I fear, the wise, at fools I laugh, not fear them.
But now the winter's wrath and watery moon.
Richard III, that I, being governed by the watery moon, midsummer night's dream, quenched in the chaste beams of the watery moon, Romeo and Julia, the collars of the moonshine's watery beams, midsummer night's dream. The moon methinks looks with a watery eye.
While Titan strives against the world's swift course.
That swift as quicksilver, it courses through.
The causes first I purpose to unfold.
To what purpose have you unfolded this to me?
There spread the colors with confused noise.
Strange, hollow, and confused noise they
Fleeter than arrows, bullets, wind, thought, swifter things.
swifter than bullets thrown from Spanish sling.
and bear true hearts, stay her this spectacle.
As true heart cannot bear.
Did wild deeds, then it was worth the price of blood.
Who now the price of his dear blood doth owe?
And then we grew licentious and rude, the soldiers prey, and rapine brought in riot.
What reign can hold licentious wickedness upon the enraged soldiers and their spoil?
Ay me, oh what a world of land and sea might they have won, whom civil broils have slain.
Prosper this realm, keep it from civil broils. It has been largely overlooked how Marlowe's translations of Lucan introduced New English coinages, some of which reappear in Shakespeare's plays. Shakespeare himself acknowledged his skill in reworking existing idioms and ideas in Sonnet 76.
So all my best is dressing old words new, spending again what is already spent.
Marlowe's Pharsalia translation of Lucan is considered more advanced than his translation of Amores of Ovid, reflecting his development and maturation as a writer. The translation contains more hendecasyllabic lines than his other works, likely due to his efforts to fit the full content of a hexameter into each English verse, translated line for line. As in Marlowe's Ovid translations, the selected, even if only a few, total sum of similarities of Marlowe's Lucan translations are too large, that is, too significant, to be by chance. They point to a common source, suggesting the works were created by the same individual. The stunning textual matches, if you also consider the following other comparisons, correspond to a sort of a DNA test.